Wakey, wakey!
Ramsey's dead.
Ramsey gave me a job.
How you doing, dude? Nice to see you. Like we always do. That seems to be the problem, Joe.
Well, you know what the problem is?
I'll see you tonight for some ice cream, all right?
Okay, Dad.
Have a nice day! Fuck you!
The film opens 5 years earlier in Mosul, Afghanistan, where a drone hovers above a small village as a man rushes down a dusty path, alerting the Taliban that he warns an elder that American forces are approaching, while others quickly work to bury an improvised explosive device. Soon, U.S. troops arrive and begin surveying the area, while the locals disappear into hiding. Unaware that the enemy is concealed inside the homes, Pretty Boy, the squad leader, presses forward and discovers a suspicious man assembling a bomb. The team surrounds him immediately. Jake, growing impatient, orders the man to drop the weapon and threatens to shoot if he doesn't comply. Instead of surrendering, the man becomes agitated, pulls out a gun, and forces the soldiers to take him down. Moments later, Colonel Tom Mason, their commander, calls in over the radio to ask for a report. The Taliban then ambushes them, firing from every direction. Jake runs for cover as Mason lays down fire to protect him. Jake fights back and rushes to assist Mason. When an enemy sneaks up from behind, Mason saves Jake's life just in time. Fast forward to the present. Jake, once a confident soldier, is now a troubled civilian. He struggles with PTSD, haunted by the trauma of war, and relies on medication. Attempting to live normally, he works at Earl's auto shop in Riverside, California. That evening, he returns home to spend time with his family. Their cheerful moment is cut short when his wife, Ashton, shows him a stack of overdue bills. She worries about their finances, but Jake reassures her that they'll manage as they always have. Lightening the mood, he playfully steals a piece of chicken before dashing away. The next day at work, Jake encounters trouble with Mexican gangsters to whom Earl owes money. Tensions rise until Fresh, the gang leader, orders his men to beat Jake. Using his combat skills, Jake fights them off, but when he goes for Fresh, Fresh pulls a gun and warns him that they'll cross paths again before leaving. Later, Jake confronts Earl about the danger he's invited. Earl admits he used to be part of that life, but managed to escape and build a home. Jake worries for his family's safety, but Earl promises to defend their community. That night, disaster strikes. Fresh arrives at Jake's home for payback. Jake frantically rushes inside, only to find his family murdered. Devastated, he screams in anguish. The police soon arrive, but Jake, blinded by rage, speeds away in search of Fresh that he spots Fresh's car outside a nightclub and storms in. Without hesitation, he guns down the gang members. When he confronts Fresh, Fresh claims he had no choice. Unmoved, Jake executes him on the spot. 5 months later, Jake is serving time for his actions. Broken by his family's death, he insists he deserves prison. Mason visits and offers help with his case, but Jake refuses, admitting he killed without remorse and would do it again. He ends the conversation by telling Mason never to return. Unexpectedly, Jake is approached by Ramsey, who runs a covert task force. Jake dismisses him, but that night masked men abduct him, revealing Ramsey was behind it. Ramsey offers him a choice: rot in prison or start fresh by joining his unit. After reflection, Jake agrees and is recruited into a secret government group called Section 8 in Washington, D.C. Ramsey introduces him to the team: Elias, Ajax, Brunner, and Mueller. Jake slyly pockets a pen during the briefing. Ramsey explains that his old identity is officially dead, and he'll be given a new alias. During initiation, Ajax provokes Jake into a fight. Jake resists at first, then retaliates and nearly stabs Ajax with the pen. Memories of his family flash, stopping him just in time. Soon, Jake embarks on his first mission with Mueller. Their target, Alejandro Castillo, a defense contractor and a legal arms dealer. Their objective is to retrieve a schematic file and eliminate Castillo before he sells it to the Russians in Mexico. Castillo meets Russian negotiator Johnny in a warehouse. While they negotiate, Jake infiltrates quietly and takes down a guard. The noise sparks suspicion, turning the Russians and Castillo against one another. A shootout erupts, and Jake seizes the opportunity, eliminating survivors. He kills Castillo, secures the files, and spares two innocent women. Back at base, Ramsey scolds him for leaving witnesses, threatening to send him back to prison. Although Mueller praises Jake's performance, Ramsey remains displeased. Meanwhile, Locke, another operative, assassinates a man in a hotel who knows Ramsey, ignoring the man's attempt to bribe him. After dispatching security, Locke escapes. Jake moves into a new home and finds a photo from Afghanistan, reminding him of Mason's advice. Later, Mueller joins him at a pub, where they bond over drinks. She shares that she was discharged from the army for punching her commanding officer. Ramsey then briefs them on a new mission: assassinate State Senator Jim Graham and recover sensitive digital files. Disguised as landscapers in California, they infiltrate his property. Mueller secures the files, but their cover is blown. Jake chases Graham, who pleads for mercy, citing his family. Jake hesitates, but Ajax arrives and kills Graham. Haunted by Graham's words, Jake recalls his wife. His hesitation brands him a liability. Soon after, Section 8 targets him. Masked men storm his home, but he narrowly escapes. Desperate, he seeks Mason, who warns that as a fugitive from Section 8, he's in grave danger. Jake asks for money and a weapon. Back in Riverside, Jake learns from his son's friend that Fresh had been seen with men in suits before the murders. Before he can learn more, Locke ambushes him, killing everyone in sight. Jake narrowly escapes. Section 8 later tracks him to Earl's shop, where Jake fights fiercely, defeating Elias and Brunner. Ajax nearly overpowers him, but Mueller intervenes and kills Ajax. Earl hands Jake car keys, urging him to flee. Jake and Mueller argue, but she eventually leads him to Ramsey's meeting with congressmen in Montana. There, Jake is captured and wakes up tied to a chair, with Ramsey and Mueller before him. To his shock, Tom enters, revealing they were behind his family's death, viewing them as a waste of his talent. After paying Ramsey, Tom secretly frees Jake, confessing he was hired to destroy Section 8. Alarms sound, and Jake and Tom fight their way through Ramsey's men. Jake confronts Ramsey, who tries to turn him against Tom. When Mueller attempts to kill Jake, Tom sacrifices himself. Jake kills Mueller in combat, then chases Ramsey, who crashes his car. Jake executes him without hesitation. Later, Attorney General Savoy offers Jake a job and a clean slate, explaining that Tom worked for them. Jake refuses, saying he has nothing left to fight for. Savoy gives him his card anyway. Back home, Locke ambushes Jake to finish the mission. After an intense battle, Jake gains the upper hand and kills Locke. The film closes with Jake sending a voice message to Earl, thanking him for saving his life just as his father once did. Earl listens emotionally as Jake boards a bus and calls Savoy, who welcomes him into a new program, Section 9.